Listen, success isn't about talking, it's about doing. Some of you are spending too much time trying to convince folks you are about to make it instead of just making it. Stop that. Work in silence. Hustle when nobody's watching. Because let me tell you something. When success finally shows up, it doesn't whisper, it roars. A lot of people love to talk about what they are gonna do. I'm about to start this business. I'm about to change my life. I'm about to go all in. But the problem is they stay about to and never actually do anything. Talking doesn't get you results. Talking doesn't pay the bills. Talking builds nothing. Do you ever notice how the loudest people in the room usually got the least to show for it? They brag, they flex, they act like they got it all figured out, but when it's time to show proof, they disappear. That's because they were too busy talking instead of putting in the work. You have to decide if you want to impress people with words or with results. The successful people aren't out here making noise before the work is done. They quit. They moving, they building. You don't hear from them for a while and then boom, one day they show up and everybody's wondering where did they come from. That's how you got to move. Let the work speak for you. When you grind in silence, you don't have to convince anybody of anything. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to beg for support. People will see the results and respect you because of what you have built, not because of what you said you were going to build. The truth is, a lot of folks don't want success. They just want attention. They want to look successful instead of being successful. That's why they post every little thing they are doing, trying to get likes and validation. But real success doesn't come from likes. It comes from discipline, sacrifice, and consistency. Ask yourself this: do you want applause or do you want achievement? Because the two aren't the same. If you want applause, keep talking. If you want achievement, get to work. Every minute you spend explaining your dreams to people who don't believe in them is a minute you could have spent making it happen. So stop making announcements and start making progress. Stop telling people what you are about to do and start doing it. When the results start rolling in, you won't have to say a single word. The work will do all the talking for you. Everybody want to be seen. They want to show the world every step of their journey, every little milestone, every tiny bit of progress. But let me tell you something. When you grind in silence, the results hit differently. When you pop up out of nowhere with success, that's when people pay attention. A lot of you are worried too much about letting people know what you are working on. You keep posting your dreams, sharing your goals, telling everybody your next move. And guess what? Half of them don't care and the other half hoping you fail. Not everybody is rooting for you. Some people smile in your face, but secretly hope you never make it. And you out here giving them a front row seat to your progress. Stop that. Let them wonder what you are up to. Let them be confused when you show up with the success they never saw coming. Have you ever seen a tree grow? You don't hear it making noise while it's growing. It doesn't announce when it's getting taller. It just does the work, absorbs the sunlight, and one day it's standing tall while everybody else wondering when it happened. That's how you got to be. The moment you stop looking for validation, that's the moment you start moving faster. When you are not worried about proving anything to anybody, you work harder, you stay focused, and you get there quicker. Validation is a distraction. And let me tell you something else. People respect what they can't see coming. When you move in silence and then show up successful, that's when the real conversations start. That's when people start asking, how did you do it? That's when they start watching. So stop broadcasting your struggle. Stop explaining yourself. Stop waiting for people to believe in you. Work, build, create. And when the time comes, let the results be so loud that nobody can ignore them. God didn't give your vision to your friends. He didn't give it to your family. He didn't send out a group text. He put it in you. So why do you keep waiting for other people to see what he already placed in your heart? Some of you are out here trying to convince people to believe in a dream they can't even comprehend. And when they don't support you, you start doubting yourself. Let me tell you something. Just because they can't see it, just because they don't understand it, doesn't mean it isn't possible. People will tell you your dreams are crazy. They'll say it's too hard. They'll tell you to be realistic. But what they mean is, I don't dare to do what you are doing, so I'm going to try to make you doubt yourself. Do you ever notice how people who never built anything always got the most advice? The ones who never took a risk always got something to say. And that's why you have to be careful who you listen to. Stop letting people who haven't never stepped out on faith talk you out of your faith. Your vision was custom made for you. Nobody else needs to get it. Nobody else needs to prove it. Nobody else needs to believe in it. The only person who needs to see it is you. The only one who needs to move on it is you. You want to know why some people don't support you? Because if you make it, it reminds them that they never tried. Your success forces them to look at their excuses. So instead of clapping for you, they try to talk you down. Ignore them. Keep building, grind alone, pray alone, work alone. And when your success finally shows up, watch how quickly the same people who doubted you start asking, how'd you do it? That's when you know you made the right choice. Some of you are sitting around waiting for your friends to support you, and that's the reason you haven't moved yet. You're waiting for the people closest to you to clap for you, to push you to believe in you. But let me tell you something. Sometimes the people you expect to be your biggest supporters will be the ones who stay silent. They'll see you grind and see you trying to change your life, and they won't say a word. And that's fine. Do it anyway. You got to understand that your friends aren't always going to see your vision. Not because they're bad people, not because they hate you, but because they are stuck in the same mindset they have always been in. When you start elevating, when you start thinking bigger, it makes them uncomfortable. You aren't the same person they used to know, and that scares them. Some people would rather see you stay where you are than watch you grow past them. Do you ever notice how people support celebrities and strangers more than they support the people they know? They'll repost a millionaire's business, but they won't even share your new project. They'll buy expensive products from big brands, but they'll ask you for a discount. That's how people are. They respect success, not potential. So stop looking for support in the beginning. Just focus on getting there. Some of your friends won't support you simply because they don't believe it's possible for them. And if they don't believe they can do it, why would they believe you can? They have accepted their limitations, and when they see you breaking out of the box, they don't know how to handle it. Instead of cheering for you, they start questioning you. You sure you want to do this? What if it doesn't work? Maybe you should wait. That's their fear of talking. Don't let their fear become yours. The truth is, sometimes your biggest supporters will be people you have never met. Strangers will celebrate you before your friends do, and that's okay. Success doesn't come from friendship, it comes from work. So while you're sitting around mad that your friends aren't showing love, somebody out there you don't even know is watching you, rooting for you, inspired by you. Keep going. You don't need a fan club, you need discipline. You don't need applause, you need action. When you start winning, trust me, the same people who ignored you in the beginning will start acting like they were with you the whole time. That's just how it goes. So stop worrying about who isn't clapping and start focusing on stacking. Do it for yourself. Do it for your future. Do it for the people who believe in you. Even if right now, that's only you. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is whether you showed up for yourself. Keep grinding. Keep pushing. And when the results start showing, let your success be so loud that even the ones who doubted you have to sit up and pay attention. Everybody loves a champion when they're holding the trophy, standing in the spotlight, getting all the praise. But what they don't see is the grind that came before that moment. They don't see the early mornings, the late nights, the sacrifices, the failures, the sweat, the pain. They only see the success. But let me tell you something. No champion is made in the spotlight. They are built in the dark, where nobody's watching. Have you ever seen a boxer before a big fight? You see them walking into the ring, looking strong, looking confident, ready to win. But what you don't see is the months, even years of training behind closed doors. The hours spent in the gym, hitting that bag when nobody's cheering, waking up sore but doing it all over again. That's where champions are made. In the moments when nobody's clapping, nobody's watching, nobody even knows their name yet. The problem is that most people only want to work when there's an audience. They want to grind when people are paying attention. But the second they are alone, they get lazy. That's why they never make it. If you only give your best when people are watching, you'll never be great. Because the real work happens when it's just you, your goals, and your determination. Discipline isn't about motivation. It's about commitment. It's about doing what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, even when you don't see immediate results. That's why most people quit. They can't handle the dark. They want results now. They want recognition now. And when they don't get it, they give up. But champions, They keep pushing. They trust the process. They know that if they stay consistent, the light will come. Ask yourself, are you training in the dark or are you waiting for an audience? Are you willing to put in the work when nobody's clapping for you, when nobody believes in you yet, when you don't even see the progress yourself? Because if you can keep going in those moments when the time comes for you to step into the light, you'll be ready. Most people think success is about luck. It isn't. Success is about preparation, and preparation happens in the dark. When your moment comes, you don't want to be the person who wishes they had worked harder. You want to be the person who knows they are ready because they already put in the hours, already did the reps, and already built the strength to handle the pressure. When you finally make it, when you finally step into the light, people will call you lucky. They'll say you came out of nowhere, but you'll know the truth. You didn't come out of nowhere. You came out of the dark, from the long nights, from the lonely grind, from the moments when you kept going even when nobody was watching. Talent is a gift, but hard work is a choice. A lot of people out here are naturally talented, naturally smart, naturally gifted, but they are lazy. They think just because they have talent, success is guaranteed. But talent without work is useless. You can be the most talented person in the room, but if you don't put in the effort, somebody with half your talent, but twice your work ethic will pass you up. Do you ever see a naturally gifted athlete who never made it? A genius who never did anything with their potential? A singer who had all the talent in the world but never put in the hour? That's because talent alone doesn't make you great. It gives you a head start. But if you aren't willing to grind, somebody else is going to outwork you and take the spot you thought was yours. The most dangerous person isn't the one with the most talent. It's the one who refuses to be outworked. It's the one who stays in the gym longer, studies harder, wakes up earlier, and pushes past the pain. That's the person who wins. Because when talent gets tired, hard work keeps going. When talent gets bored, hard work stays focused. A lot of you are waiting for things to be easy. You want success to come naturally, like it's supposed to just happen because you are good at something. But let me tell you, life doesn't care how talented you are. Life cares how bad you want it. And if you aren't willing to put in the work, life will pass you by and give your blessings to somebody else who's grinding for them. Hard work creates opportunities that talent alone can't. Hard work builds character, builds discipline, builds resilience. Talent might get you in the door, but hard work is what keeps you in the room. And if you rely too much on talent and not enough on effort, don't be surprised when you get replaced by somebody who wants it more than you did. Every single day, there's somebody out there working harder than you. Somebody who wants it more, who's pushing through obstacles, who's showing up even when they don't feel like it. Are you going to let them outwork you? Are you going to let them take what could have been yours? Or are you going to put in the kind of work that makes sure your talent turns into something? The choice is yours. You can sit back and hope your talent is enough, or you can get up and outwork every single person in your way. Because at the end of the day, talent might set you apart, but hard work is what makes you unstoppable. Some of you are wasting too much time trying to convince people to believe in your dreams. You're sitting there explaining your vision, breaking down your goals, trying to make them understand why you are doing what you are doing. But let me tell you something. If they don't even believe in themselves, what makes you think they'll believe in you? You out here looking for support from people who gave up on their dreams a long time ago. Do you ever notice how the biggest critics are usually the ones who never tried, the ones who never took a risk, the ones who played it safe their whole life? That's because people who don't believe in themselves will always try to plant doubt in you. They'll tell you it's impossible, not because it is, but because they couldn't do it themselves. And instead of admitting that, they'd rather make you feel like you are the crazy one for trying. The truth is, some people don't want to see you win because it reminds them that they never even tried. Your ambition makes them uncomfortable. Your drive exposes their laziness. Your willingness to step out on faith makes them question why they never took that step. And instead of learning from you, instead of being inspired, they try to pull you back down to their level. Don't fall for it. You don't owe anybody an explanation for chasing your dreams. You don't need permission to go after what's yours. If they don't get it, that's fine. It isn't their vision to see anyway. Stop trying to make them understand something they were never meant to be a part of. If they wanted more for themselves, they'd be too busy working on their own goals to be questioning yours. Some of the people you're explaining yourself to are the same ones who settled for less. They made excuses instead of moves. They let fear stop them. And now, instead of lifting others, they just try to drag others down with them. That's why you have to be careful who you listen to. You can't take advice from someone who never even tried to live the life you want. If you keep looking for validation from small-minded people, you are going to end up living a small life. Stop wasting energy arguing with people who aren't going anywhere. Let them talk. Let them doubt. Let them think you are crazy. Because when you finally make it, those same people will be the first ones saying, I always knew you could do it. So move in silence. Stay focused. Stop explaining yourself to people who aren't even willing to take a chance on themselves. Because at the end of the day, their doubts don't pay your bills and their opinions won't build your future. Everybody loves to talk about motivation. You hear people say, I just need to get motivated. Like motivation is some magic fuel that's going to take them to the next level. But let me tell you something. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you are going to wake up feeling unstoppable. Other days you won't even feel like getting out of bed. And if you are only moving when you feel motivated, you are never going to get where you want to be. Motivation is like a spark. It gets you started, gets you excited, and makes you feel like you are ready to take on the world. But what happens when that spark dies down? What happens when you don't feel like working, when you don't feel like grinding, when you don't feel like showing up? That's where discipline comes in. Discipline is what makes you get up and do the work, no matter how you feel. Have you ever seen somebody start strong, full of energy, talking big about all the things they are going to do, and then a few weeks later they are back to their old habits? That's because they relied on motivation. But the people who win, the people who make it to the top, they aren't moving off of feelings. They are moving off of commitment. They do the work whether they feel like it or not. Consistency is what separates the successful from the ones who just dream about success. Anybody can work hard for a day, for a week, even for a month. But can you keep going when nobody's clapping for you? Can you keep going when the results aren't showing yet? Can you stay focused when life throws obstacles in your way? Because that's what it takes. Success doesn't come from what you do once in a while. It comes from what you do every single day. Some days you are going to be tired. Some days you are going to feel like it's not working. Some days you are going to want to quit. But discipline is what makes you push through anyway. Discipline is waking up early when you'd rather sleep in. Discipline is staying focused when distractions are everywhere. Discipline is saying, I don't care how I feel, I made a promise to myself and I'm keeping it. If you build discipline, you won't need motivation. If you build consistency, success becomes inevitable. Because when you keep showing up, when you keep putting in the work, eventually the results have no choice but to show up too. Most people quit before they even see what they are capable of. Don't be most people. Keep going, keep building, keep pushing. Listen to me. Stop begging for recognition. Stop chasing after people's approval. The right people will notice you when you are doing the work, when you are putting in the hours, when you are living in your purpose and shining in your light. You don't need to beg anyone to see your work. When you start moving with purpose, people who align with your vision will gravitate towards you. It's that simple. Too many of you are out here trying to convince people to pay attention to you, trying to prove to the wrong crowd that you are worthy of respect, of success, of recognition. You don't need to be chasing people for validation. The real ones will see what you are doing and acknowledge it. They'll recognize your grind. They'll recognize your consistency. You don't need to scream for attention. Your actions will do all the talking. I need you to understand something right now. The more you chase after validation from people who don't believe in you, the further away you are getting from your true purpose. Those who are meant to be part of your journey will notice the energy you bring, the consistency you have, and the confidence in your work. You don't have to chase them, they'll find you. When you shine, it draws the right people in. The truth is, a lot of people won't recognize your value because they can't see it themselves. They don't know how to spot greatness, and they don't know how to support it. But that's not your problem. Keep moving, keep shining, keep doing what you are doing, and trust that those who are meant to be in your circle will see you for who you are. They'll respect your hustle. They'll support your growth. Sometimes people won't even see your value right away, but that's okay. Don't get discouraged by the lack of attention or recognition. Keep shining regardless. The ones who are ready for what you bring will step up when the time is right. The best part? They are the ones you want in your corner anyway because they'll recognize the grind. They'll respect your work ethic, and they won't try to take from you. You have to stop relying on others to validate you. You need to understand that your worth isn't tied to someone else's approval. Your value is built on your effort, your consistency, and your authenticity. When you know that and carry yourself like you already know your worth, the people who matter will notice. It's not about begging for attention or recognition. It's about doing the work, staying true to yourself, and allowing the right people to naturally gravitate towards you. And let me tell you, the validation you get from the right people is so much more powerful than the validation you beg for from the wrong ones. When you stop seeking approval and just focus on doing what you do best, those who understand your mission, your purpose, and your vision will show up. And when they do, they won't just support you, they'll elevate you. That's the kind of energy you need in your life. Rejection hurts. I know. It stings. It makes you feel like you are not enough. But let me tell you something. Rejection isn't the end. Rejection is a redirection. It's God's way of telling you that what you thought was for you wasn't. What you thought you needed wasn't really what you needed. And as painful as it is in the moment, that closed door is opening the way to something far better than you could have ever imagined. Every no you get is one step closer to a yes that's meant for you. Every door that slams in your face is just a signal that God has something better waiting for you. Don't let rejection make you feel small. Let it make you feel powerful. Let it fuel you. Because the truth is, rejection is not a reflection of your worth. It's simply a redirection to your greater purpose. I need you to understand that rejection is a blessing in disguise. When things don't work out the way you plan, it doesn't mean you failed. It means that the universe or God or whatever you believe in has something more aligned with your true potential. You may not see it right now, but that rejection is guiding you to the place where your skills, talents, and dreams will thrive the way they are meant to. Stop fearing rejection. Stop thinking that it's a sign of failure. Rejection is a lesson. It teaches you resilience. It teaches you patience. It teaches you that your journey doesn't end because one thing didn't work out. It teaches you that your path is bigger and it's just waiting for you to be ready for it. And sometimes you need to face rejection to become the person you are destined to be. Every no gets you closer to the right yes. You can't get discouraged when one door closes. You got to believe that there's another one that's going to open. Maybe that yes is a bigger opportunity, a better relationship, or a more fulfilling path. Rejection is just a universal way of saying, not this one, but just wait, something even greater is coming. And when it comes, you'll look back and realize that rejection was your blessing. The next time you face rejection, don't let it break you. Embrace it. Say, okay, God, I see you redirecting me. Let that rejection be your reminder that you are on the right path, even if it doesn't feel that way right now. Trust that this setback is just a setup for something bigger. You are being shaped, molded, and prepared for the greatness that's coming your way. Remember, the most successful people in the world have faced rejection more times than they can count. What sets them apart is that they didn't let rejection stop them. They used it as fuel. They knew that every no wasn't a dead end. It was simply God redirecting them, guiding them, and getting them ready for the next big thing. So learn to love rejection. It's a sign that you are on the way to something amazing. Success doesn't need to announce itself. When you are truly successful, the work speaks for itself. It doesn't need a loud celebration. It doesn't need attention. It doesn't need a spotlight. It's steady. It's consistent. It's built over time, brick by brick, without the need for constant validation or applause. Success is quiet because it's the result of hard work that doesn't need to be broadcast to the world. The people who are truly winning aren't out here shouting about it. They are just showing up every day and letting the results speak for themselves. But failure, that's a whole different story. Failure is loud. When you are failing, everyone can see it, you feel it, you hear it. It knocks on your door every day, telling you everything you didn't do, everything you missed, every mistake you made. It can be the loudest thing in the room, and it's easy to get caught up in that noise. But here's the thing. Failure doesn't have to be as loud as you think. It doesn't need to define you unless you let it. What you have to understand is that failure is only as loud as you allow it to be. If you let failure take over your life, if you let it consume your thoughts and your actions, then it will be all you hear. But if you choose to rise above it, to learn from it, to use it as a stepping stone instead of a stumbling block, then failure's noise starts to fade into the background. You choose how much space you give failure in your life. Most people get caught in the noise of failure because they're afraid of it. They let it take up too much room. They let it drown out their confidence, and they let it define their next move. But what if, instead of letting failure be the loudest thing in the room, you turned up the volume on your success? What if you made your quiet progress speak louder than your loud setbacks? Because at the end of the day, your quiet victories are what will get you to the top. Failure only becomes a permanent fixture in your life when you give up. When you stop fighting, when you stop trying, when you let the noise of your failures drown out the quiet persistence of your progress. But if you keep showing up, if you keep pushing forward, if you keep your eyes on the prize, you can turn down the volume on your failures and turn up the volume on your eventual success. Success isn't something you scream for. Success is something you earn. And the more you focus on the quiet work, the more you let your dedication, your commitment, and your actions speak louder than words, the more success you'll see. Don't let failure scream in your face. Let success be the quiet strength that moves you through the noise, that propels you forward when everything else is telling you to stop. Choose your volume wisely. You have the power to turn up the quiet, steady hum of success and turn down the deafening roar of failure. Focus on the work, focus on the progress, focus on the long-term vision, and let your quiet success be the thing that carries you to where you belong. Don't get lost in the noise of what went wrong. Instead, focus on the quiet, consistent steps you are taking toward everything that's going right. You ever notice how people always say, don't get too cocky or stay humble? Well, that's all good advice when you are still working on getting to the top. But there's a time when the noise of your success isn't something to hold back. It's something you need to amplify. When all your hard work starts paying off, when your grind finally begins to show results, don't hold back. Don't try to make it quiet. Let that success be so loud that the world has no choice but to notice you. You have put in the work. You have sacrificed. You have fought through days when nobody believed in you. You have struggled when others were sleeping, and now it's time to let the world hear about it. Success isn't just about the result. It's about making your mark and letting your presence be known. It's about making sure people see how much you have worked to get here. Let your success speak so loudly that no one can ignore the journey you have been on. And when that success finally starts making noise, don't shrink away from it. Too many people spend their lives downplaying their wins, trying to make themselves small so others feel comfortable. You don't need to do that. You worked hard for this moment. You earned your seat at the table. So when your success comes, make sure you are loud about it. Be proud of where you have come from and where you are headed. Let your success shine bright so the world knows exactly who you are. Success has a way of drawing attention, and that's exactly what you want. Don't be afraid of the spotlight. Don't be afraid of people seeing your progress. There's a time to be humble, yes, but there's also a time to be bold. When your success gets loud, let it drown out the doubts, the haters, and anyone who ever told you that you couldn't do it. Your victory isn't just yours, it's for everyone who doubted you, everyone who thought you wouldn't make it. Show them that your success is impossible to ignore. This isn't about arrogance, it's about confidence. You have worked for every single step you have taken to get where you are. And now it's time to celebrate it. Success doesn't always have to be quiet and modest. Sometimes success needs to roar. It needs to be so undeniable that no one can question it. Your success is a testament to your dedication, and when it speaks, let it speak loudly. There are people out there who need to see your success to believe it's possible for them too. When you let your success be loud, you not only show the world what you have achieved, you inspire others to keep going. You give people hope. You show them that if you can do it, so can they. So make your success impossible to ignore. Let it ring out not just for your benefit, but for those who need to see what's possible when you don't stop. In the end, you have earned the right to be seen. You have fought for it. Work for it. Sacrifice for it. So when your success starts making noise, let it be so loud that nobody can ever forget what you have done. Let it be a sound that echoes, a presence that fills every room you walk into. And when they can't ignore you anymore, you'll know it wasn't by accident. It was because you showed up and made your success impossible to deny.